There's a peace I've come to know, though my heart and Good afternoon. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. I want to encourage you again with another lesson on how we can follow after Jesus and why we should follow after Jesus. There's a lot of different things that we could follow after in this world. We could follow after money, we could follow after fame, we could follow after sexual things. We could follow after all the things that this world has to offer. But the question is it worth it to follow after Jesus? And if we want to follow after Jesus, how can we continue to follow after Jesus when there's so many things that are trying to encourage us to follow after them instead? In John chapter 4, we will be looking at the next miracle that, that is found in the Gospel of John. In John chapter 4, 46 through 50, it says this: Once more he visited Cana in Galilee, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged to come and heal his son, who was close to death. Unless you people see signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe. The royal official said, Sir, come down before my child dies. Go, Jesus replied, your son will live. Then the man took Jesus at his word and departed. What is really interesting about this is Jesus says that there are people that only will believe unless they see. And then there was a man that came to Jesus and said, come heal my son. And Jesus said, your son will be healed. And the man responds by believing Jesus at his word. We too need to believe Jesus at his word. When Jesus makes a promise like that if we follow after him, we will have eternal life. And that if we trust in him and we choose to love what is good and hate what is evil, if we choose to die to ourselves and choose to follow after Christ by choosing to live a life of holiness instead of living a life of sin, if we choose to forgive instead of choose to hate, we choose to love rather than to choose to hurt. If we are going to follow after Christ, then we have to choose to follow Jesus's words and believe that if we truly follow after him, we can have life. Continuing in John chapter 4, 51 through 54, it says this: While he was still on the way, his servant met him with the news that his boy was living. When he inquired to the time when his son got better, they said to him, yesterday, 1 in the afternoon, the fever left him. When the father realized that this was the exact time which Jesus had said to him, your son will live. So he and his whole household believed. This was the second sign Jesus performed after coming from Judea to Galilee. What is really interesting about this lesson is Jesus is teaching us to believe what he says. And that if we believe in the word of Jesus, then we can have new life. Just like this servant who came and told Jesus, that came to Jesus and said, can you heal my son? And he said, well, if you just say it, then I will walk in faith and believe that it took place. We too need to have a faith that does not live by sight, but lives by faith. that walks by faith, that trusts that whatever Jesus says is true. If we do that, then we will have a faith that overcomes the trials of this life. And we'll have a faith that overcomes the difficulty in life. And it will also have a faith that overcomes the distractions of life, so that we will not follow after money, and we will not follow after fame, and we will not follow after a popular person, but we'll follow after Jesus, because Jesus is true to his promises and is faithful when it comes to offering us hope and life and peace. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I pray that you would continue to join me in this series on looking at why we should follow after Christ. Until next time, may God bless.
There's a peace I've come to know, though my heart and flesh may fail.